expect everything to go
I'm
properly.
excited, like, we haven't gone live.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the debut of the Helluva Hazbeans Livestream podcast. How we all doing today? Feel free, come connect, come chat with us. Myself, my name is the Wordy Hazbin, and here I have today with me the lovely... You're not going to introduce yourself? Damn! Alright, we have Skyline in the house.
I'm in the house, yes, because we're down with the kids.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're down with a lot of the, what'd you just say, kinks?
Kids!
Oh, kids. I thought you said kinks. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, alright, kinks.
We are not going down that street already.
Well. So today on this live stream, I think today is going to be more so an introduction to us, what we're about, all the topics that we have in store for today, and really, just kind of going a little around the room right now. So, Sky, why don't you start us off?
Hey, you're putting the spotlight on me first?
Yes, I am. Break those nerves. Break the ice, babe.
The heck? Hi, I'm Skylight. If it wasn't obvious by my icon, I am a furry, so I'm sorry. I've been a part of the Hazbin and Helluva community for over a year or so now, and I make the art. So, there, that's me.
So my name is the Wordy Hazbin, and the icon that you see there is my character Harper from my story Sugar, and I'm currently writing it for the Hazbin edition. And we can get a little into that later, but I am a fiction writer towards the universe. Obviously, since I created the original character, I am a multi-shipper. I do ship OC canon, I ship canon, and all that fun stuff. So I thought that would really help, get the creative flow going, and really just kind of opening the floor to that in a little bit to really discuss more about that. But Sky,
Harper
you're
is acting sweet.
yeah, all right. Well, listen, you drew her, so you drew her to look that sweet. I'm not saying she is. I mean, Harper's a hoe. She has hoe powers. So
I say that, but then look at Angel. Angel is also considered very cute.
he is. So I mean, look, if we're talking, I know a lot of what's the terminology on a lot of it, like simping, right? I mean, really, you can't simp a fictional character. But I know in most cases I'll say, yeah, I simp Angel Dust. What can I say? I'm a sucker for the Italian slut.
He got weaved in his webs.
Uh-huh. Oh, honey, entangle me in those webs any day. Mm-hmm.
I love it. The free viewers we have, and they're all hearing this.
They are, but I'm sure that's what'll keep keep us in business. I think it's that kind of fucked up chat that'll really keep the people coming.
Is that what we get to get the views? We just talk about that, and it's immediately just a boom, 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 boom.
I mean, really. I mean, we have. I mean, what can we say? I think it's the organic kind of conversation that kind of really keeps us flowing. So I have no regrets. I will keep this as fucked up as we need to. Um. Yeah. So, Sky, why don't you tell me a little bit about, drawing art for, has been commissions and has been, in general. I know that's really like your forte. That's where your expertise lie. And I mean, you're damn good at it. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Um, so Um, like I said, I'm mainly an artist for like the furry community. So when Hazbin came around on the feed, I was like, "Ooh, these characters look fun. I could try this." And to start off with, they weren't that good, but I was like, I want to keep doing this because the designs are so pretty. Like Viv has always made really pretty designs. So yeah, I just kept going. And now I make the mini arts of the Angel and the Alistor.
No, that's awesome. And I know, Radio Dust is, a great ship in itself. I mean, I'm actually really amazed at all the different ships that have come. If you really think about it, we've only had one episode of Hazbin Hotel. And from that,
Mhm.
people have gotten so creative in terms of fan art, in terms of concepts, in terms of how people just kind of piece these little nuances to to latch these characters together. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm thoroughly impressed. I mean, that's kind of what goads me as a writer to experiment, kind of like what you were saying, what Viv herself has created. I definitely take the multitude of concepts to kind of work on different personalities. Like writing for Angel Dust, writing for Alistair, writing for Husker, writing for who else, like Blitzo. And I mean that comes in, I mean you can obviously do that in like forms of role play as well. I do that.
Mhm.
I do that too. I role play Hazbin Hotel as well, and I have a few good partners, and I mean the majority of them will ask for the same thing. They're like Alistair, and I go, yeah, okay, I can do Alistair. I can try Alistair. I have no problem trying Alistair. I'm cool with that. Um, but it's those little pieces, and I think in the long run that I think will you know, help better ourselves as both artists and writers. Especially in that
Mhm.
concept, it's like if you can get Alistair, if you can master the concept of Alistair, you can master the concept of Angel. I think you have a good grasp of these different personality types, which I thought was,
That's
super.
like the fun part of it, as well as like trying to capture them in different forms as well.
Well, I'm actually really glad you said that because of the sheer fact, like when you and I first started chatting, and we were first, chatting with the when we were chatting in the group that we met in, and you were commenting on Harper's story, and then you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm a big Radio Dust shipper." I said, "Yeah, that's great." Um, I've actually never tried to write Radio Dust before, so let me give it a shot. Let me see if I can kind of hone in on the characters and their relationship and see what develops from that. And then for you to take what I have written and to create art out of it, I think I was, I don't know, that just kind of blew my mind. I'm like, that really goes, no, that just really showed me like how strong writing, not to pat my own back, but how strong writing helps to inspire different art. And I get why fan fiction is so popular in that sense.
Hmm. I've always said since like that moment with you as well, I've always said it takes a certain type of writing for me to immediately connect and think, okay, yeah, I see this, I see this, I see this. So like paper, let's go. That doesn't happen very often. It's like a very specific writing style, I find, sort of triggers that off.
No, well, I appreciate that, and I think actually it was through chatting with you, about writing and about the art that you've definitely helped me. I feel grow as a writer because you will actually give me feedback. You won't just say, "Oh yeah, this is great." When you say something along those lines, that doesn't help anybody. Like, "Oh, that's great. Keep doing what you're doing." It's like, listen, you can. I'm not fishing for compliments. You can throw compliments my way, but if you can give me backup as to what you like didn't like, I feel that's what's going to help me grow as a writer. And the same thing with art.
That's something that happens a lot with the has-been community and like Helluva and everything as well. No matter what your form of art is, whether it's writing or art or like music or acting, anything, if you get feedback on your stuff, then you know what you can then improve upon. If you just constantly get things like, "Oh yeah, that was good," it's like, okay, but how can I make it better? And you never
Exactly.
really know
No,
that.
but you're
And the
right though.
feedback is a really
Well, the feedback, if you think about it, all right, so if you get all these little nuggets of feedback in your corner, I feel that it'll really that's more valuable.
My brain decided to put it in as like the little fat nuggets of feedback.
I mean, listen, I would love to see little baby fat nuggets just like walking past me with like different values of feedback. Would that not be adorable? That'd be
That
adorable.
would be so
I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there.
He's just
So
there with like little pates of encouragement walking past you every day. That would be wonderful.
so okay, so I'm looking in the chat here. Crappy bun bun. Heyo. I'm so glad. I love listening to podcasts while writing it and doing other things. So yay, entertainment. Ships everywhere
This
from
is very entertaining.
ships
I'm
everywhere.
sorry, I should have said that in the beginning. I'm gonna find ways to quote Hazbin a lot. It's what I do.
It is literally what she does. We were talking for about, I'm gonna say, 3 hours last night, and that's all I heard were like the different quotes and sound effects and all these other things. She was just finding ways to slip in there.
I found a
So
way to finally work in the you win some, you lose a few hundred.
yeah, that was a big
It
one.
wasn't
That was a
that
big one you were
bad.
talking about. Shockwave the scientist. Hi, how's it going? Um,
Greetings!
ships everywhere from just one pilot. Right, right. So many ships.
Absolutely.
You know what? Let's talk a little bit
You want
about.
to talk about like some of our favorites?
I was just getting into that. Can you get out of my head?
Hey. No, your head is comfy, okay?
Oh, I'm so glad. Just massage my brain a little bit. Thanks.
I'll
So,
happily do that for you.
oh, I know you will. um, so why don't we talk about some of the more popular ships at the moment? We got okay, you know what? Let's talk about radio dust. Let's radio dust this bitch. Um, so Sky, tell me why you're such a big supporter of the radio dust ship.
um, well, you can't see it, but I might be doing like oceans. No, the main reason I think I connect so well with radio does is because it reminds me of my own relationship. I've got a partner, and he is very overly flirty. A lot. He finds ways to make innuendos. A lot. And I'm the Alistair of that relationship. I am very asexual. So the two of us together, it sort of just clicked. And then when I found out that it was an actual ship and people were shipping Alistair with Angel, I was like, oh, it's my relationship.
I definitely think I've got a Moxie Millie going on. I can't tell which one I am just yet, but I don't really, I can't tell who I am between the two between the two. So I'm just gonna leave it very open for interpretation at the moment. Um, let's see. So I mean, so far, yeah, radio dust seems very plausible, and I mean, I love how we're not gonna know until Hazbin releases, because I remember Viv saying something along the lines of how, wow, lots of words can set a communications major and you're screwing it up. So I know she was saying that Angel was going to get into a relationship at some point. We just don't know with who. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's gonna be Husker because Angel's flirting a lot with Husker, or it could be Alistair. It could very well be Alistair, but I know a lot of people ship Charlie with Alistair, only for the sheer fact
Mm.
of how he's wedging himself between Baggy and Charlie.
No,
But
I've recently been rewatching some of like the Honeycast streams. I remember hearing that Viv spoke on the matter, and I think it's because of how similar in sort of personality Alistair and Charlie are as to why people are sort of putting them together, because they both got the sort of they've both got the same sort of what is it, humor.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, if you really look at it, you know, Alistair literally has no respect for Vaggie. And I mean, it's
Well,
just so
absolutely
clear.
not, and I think that's hilarious.
It is so clear. It is just so clear as day, and I love every minute of it. For somebody who doesn't like being touched, for him to slap her ass and just to watch her get angry. I don't know. I live for it. I'm living for it.
You definitely see Vaggie being the punching bag of the situation as Moxie is in Helluva.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
You
Moxie
can see the
definitely.
dynamic that Vaggie's got with Angel, and then she's got the dynamic with Alistair. You can just see there's going to be the same sort of energy that's picking up.
It is very similar. It is very similar energy. And I mean, I'm here for all of it. I'm literally here for every single ship that people have created. I mean, even the more obscure ones. I
Hmm.
know ever since the last episode of Helluva ran, I know people have been shipping Moxie and Striker. I don't know how I feel about that. I think that's one of the ones that I'm just like, nah, nah. I feel like
So
if
it's,
any.
it's very similar then to like Solus and Stella. I'd imagine Striker's just always trying to kill him.
True, true. It actually probably would be a very similar circumstance. I feel like if any of you have seen Pitch Perfect, I kind of feel like Fat Amy right now. Yeah, better not.
Yeah, no, sorry.
No, sorry.
Yeah,
No, no,
no.
no. um,
I told you I was gonna work in it everywhere I can.
I know, I know. Yeah, I mean, literally, you saw the opening and you just like went for it.
That's the heck of it.
um,
That's the best part of it.
it is. It definitely is the best. It definitely is the best part of it. Um, let's talk about. Let me see. We just spoke of radio dust. How about Husker dust? Why don't we talk a little bit about that?
Like the aspect of it.
I can see the aspect of it, and I know there are a handful of people that ship it, a
Hmm.
handful of people that love it, and there was one comic that I saw in particular about with Angel and between Angel and Husker, and I'm sure everyone has seen it by now, but it was the comic where Paranoia or Paranoid DJ. He does a lot of voice acting for the comics between of the Hazbin characters, and I know he's very well known for Valentino and what he does for Angel. And
Hmm.
I'm in love with it. If we can get him as a guest here for one of these, that would be
Oh god.
oh, I'd be in my glory. You have no idea, no idea. But
I think we'd both be on edge as well though because of Harper's story with Al. So we'd both be a bit like ah.
well, we're gonna have to talk about that since you're bringing this up. So
Gonna happen. Yes, I'm
I
purposely bringing it up so you talk about it.
wow, thanks. Let me see. I blame my girlfriend of making me ship Striker and Moxie. Hey, listen, I am not knocking. I am definitely absolutely not knocking anybody ship. You know what I mean? Look, you ship who you ship. This is not a ship bashing central. I'm just like, I don't know if I could see I don't know if I could see it. Um so I'm just
Unless
like,
it's like a Stella and Stolas relationship where he's just trying to constantly kill Moxie off.
oh yeah, but I'm not looking to crucify people that do. That's just it's not my cup of tea. Um
Ah.
I
All the
mean,
ships are valid.
oh yeah, all the ships are valid. I'm I embrace other people's desires and respects for what they ship. Ship the docks are open for ships. Let me see. So what did you want to talk about? Harper? People don't know Harper.
We were going over, like, we're discussing the voice actor who's known well for his work for Angel and Val.
Oh, that's right. See, I forget. I forget. People don't get older. When you get older, you forget shit easy. So, Husker Dusk is cool. Husker Dust is cool. Yeah, it is. It is. So, okay, yeah.
And
So the
some of,
comic.
like, the OC children that I've seen come out of it are so fucking cute.
Listen, the Husker Dust children are adorable. They are so cute. The little fluffy kittens are so cute. So
It's so cute.
they are cute. And so Paranoid DJ, he did a comic, and it made me go, I can see where Husker Dust shippers come from. So in this particular comic he was dubbing, Angel came home from either, porn studios, or he came from somewhere. He was in this gorgeous dress, little slinky dress. And I'm joshing around. Uh, and Husk was knocked out, passed out on a chase lounge. So Angel walks over and he goes, okay. He's like, all right, you know what? Let me flip you over so you don't choke on your own puke. And of course, Paranoid DJ has to throw in the little Italian in there that just makes me squee. And because, I don't know, the idea of Angel speaking Italian just makes me go, yes. So,
I love that aspect though, especially like they do it with Maggie a lot as well. So
yes.
I
Yes.
love it when the characters embrace their second language.
Yes, yes, yes. So, in while Angel is in the middle of rolling Husk over, and he's trying to work how to not smack himself around with the wings or anything of that sort, Husk wakes up, and he almost kind of hurts Angel. He grabs him, that I know. But Husk is really trying to process the idea that, Angel's not somebody that's going to hurt him. And Husk, Angel's like, I should be afraid, and I kind of am, but damn, daddy. So then there's Husk, and Husk is just trying to, you know, get the concept that he's coming out of this nightmare, and he wakes up and he realizes that it's Angel. And you just see in that moment how the two of them have this understanding of one another. And Angel's kind of playing around with him, and that's what I feel kind of brings him back a little. And he's like, oh, so Husk is like, oh, it's you, and Angel's like, yeah, it's me. And Husk, it just goes to show that he's been through this before, and he's possibly hurt people before coming out of this drunken stupor. And he goes, did I hurt you? Angel goes, no, you didn't hurt me. So it's in that moment, it's a lot of nonverbal that just goes on between the two of them, and Husk kind of, goes, oh, okay, and he hugs Angel. And Angel goes to bed that night. He sees Fat Nuggets, he picks him up, and they're cuddling in bed or whatever, and Angel, somewhere along the way, drapes a wig over Husker when he knocks back out. So it's in common, and that's kind of really where it ends. And Angel's just very touched at the fact that maybe he's been touch-starved in a way that wasn't, regarding porn studios and the aggression and abuse that comes from Valentino's little pot of miscreants. So it's in those moments where you get this idea of where you can see how damaged the two of them are, and they can relate to each other that way. So that's where I can see the Husker Dust. I can definitely see the Husker Dust, and that is all there is for me to really say about that. They're just two damaged individuals that can kind of relate to one another in terms of comfort.
That's what I
Sky.
like about the sorts of ships and everything, though, is when they channel into those sorts of events that maybe the characters deal through in order to get to the places that they're at.
No, you're right though. You are absolutely right. And I like how Viv has kind of channeled a different something different about each of them. They're all damaged and they're all broken in hell, right? But I mean, you're dealing with a lot of, depression, taking advantage, abuse. And to see them all kind of find ways, yeah, they're all damaging each other. It's hell. Why wouldn't they screw around with one another, right? But to find these characters to kind of that gel well and can establish this sense of comfort, I think is what really sets her work apart from somebody else who would probably try to do the same thing. Her world is just so different,
Absolutely.
huh?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's that's what I can appreciate about it. I can definitely absolutely appreciate.
Can tell for it. You can tell that the research went into each of them to make sure that they fit the time period that they're supposed to be from. The damage that has been done in their lives, whether we see it or not, is still felt in them as characters, whether on screen or if they're written about or anything.
Right.
Even with the comics and everything, you still get that sense of seeing favorite characters, and you see the trauma and stuff that they still deal with and they've dealt with before the pilot, and it's amazing.
To definitely have this opportunity, I guess, for them to. And I mean, especially for the sake of Charlie, being the daughter of Lucifer and that
Mm-hmm.
angelic nature of her wanting to, I mean, not only kill off the idea of, you know, angels coming down to control population, right? This is her taking matters into her own hands of doing it a little more peacefully by trying to heal, to try to help. I'm actually only curious as to what Charlie has in mind pertaining to, how she's going to do it, how she's going to do it with Angel. How did she what kind of program did she put him on to make sure that he was clean and well behaved for 2 weeks? I mean, did she do a 12-step program? I don't know.
There's going to be something that they discuss when they eventually, because I think they've announced they were doing a Charlie uh, comic alongside to go with the Alistair and Angel comics that have already been released. I think there's a Charlie one in the works.
That's good though. I
What
think
I
we need.
remember reading anyway. So maybe we'll learn some of that information in there. I don't know.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure they're going to try to spew some nuggets when they can.
Some fat nuggets.
Yes, some fat nuggets when they can, where they can try to, you know, offer us what they can while A24 is in the process. Which was something I really wanted to drive home with the group, especially because I know I definitely saw that in the group that we had met in. Like, oh well, when's it coming out? When's Hazbin coming out? It's like, nope, nobody really knows. This professional company picked it up, and we're gonna find out. I'm sure we're gonna hear more about it when, you know, Viv's allowed to say, hey, listen, this is when you're gonna get episode 2. Maybe they're gonna redo episode. Maybe they're gonna, or I'm sorry, episode 1. You know, maybe we'll even get a reads on pilot. You don't know. You don't know what they have in store. But we shall see. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah,
In
listen,
the process.
it is in the process, and I'm really proud of everybody, for being as patient as they've been, or as they're being for it.
Absolutely. I mean, like, I get the frustration, but at the same token, you've got to take into account Spindle Horse as a whole. They mainly have more dates at the moment to do Helluva for Hazbin because Hazbin was taken up by A24. So there might be like contracts and like stuff that Viv's got to go through. Then you've also got to take into consideration because of the pandemic, maybe people haven't been able to work. They might not have been able to get as much done as what they've wanted to during the time, so maybe they've got to do a bit of catch up. You don't know.
You don't know. And that's really what it comes down to. But hey, listen, I'm proud of us for being as patient as we've been and expressing our creativity in the interim by
I think
creating,
that's what's a great thing about it is because we've had all this time, we sort of it's given the community a chance to open up and take the world and expand it in our own way. And I'm sure that like Viv is loving seeing the creativity that's coming out of it from writers and musicians and voice actors and artists and everything. At the end of the day, these projects are still her babies.
No, they are, and you're absolutely right. I can tell how much love you put into each of of what you create. Every inch of um I'm sorry, I'm mixing my words. I can tell how much passion and how much drive that you have in each one of them. And I mean they only just get better as you go along. So proud as hell of you of that. Keep it going, girl.
I'm a blush. Oh, I found out what I found because of the amount of time I've had to actually devote to doing Hazbin is finding ways in which to make it fitting and capture emotion easier. As I know Viv spoke about this before, but it's true. Having like a musical playlist or something, the character really helps you when you're trying to draw that character.
You know what? I definitely agree with
Like
that
if
because
like,
go ahead.
RP them or write for them or anything with them, if you've got like a background music playing to yourself in headphones or whatever when you're trying to portray a character, Lord, does it help you get into the zone for them?
No, it definitely does. When I write for like Alistair, let's say, I'll definitely put on a playlist from like the 1920s, the 1930s. And I try to keep it within that time frame that he was alive to kind of keep it alive. And the same thing I would do, and I was fooling around with the idea of doing background stories, for each of them. And I mean,
Definitely.
for Angel Dust, for example, right? So for Angel Dust would be the 1940s, and that was the first one that came to mind. And a lot of it would be the music from the 1930s to the 1940s. Even though, although I will say that I know I started off at like 1946 to do it like the last year of his life. Because I mean I'm
Mm.
not writing a life story. It was just a background leading to his death. Because all we know is that he overdosed, and
By
he ended up.
having overdosed and ending up comatose. I'm
Oh
sorry, I
god.
listened to Addict before I came on the stream.
I don't give a damn. Let my emotions go. Fuck being a sober hoe. No, it's
That
been
is a
stuck
mood.
in my head, huh?
It's just a mood.
It is such a mood. I'll sing different and random verses just out of nowhere because why not?
Mm-hmm. It's fitting.
Mm-hmm. It really is. But like for Alistair, let's say I would probably put music on from like the 1920s and 1930s. I would do and so on and so forth. I don't know what war that Husker fought, because wasn't Husker a veteran or no? Or did they just say he was an old man? Like he died he died an old man.
He's older than Buster and Angel and all that. I know he's an older soul.
Okay.
I don't know if we fully got into depth so information of Husker's death. Anything? Yeah, I don't know if that's something that's going to be searched through in the series. I don't know, but I know there's multiple theories as to why he's there. But we can say for certain he has made a deal with Alistair because Alistair summoned him.
Okay.
So there's some connection between Alistair and Husk with a deal of sorts. We just are unaware what
Well, yeah,
it
no.
is fully.
Yeah, no. I know we've talked about that before, and definitely. I mean, I would imagine that Husker got himself into a bad enough situation where he had to make a deal with Alistair to
Mhm.
get him out of it, to apply him into that mode of servitude with him. But I don't know. It's an idea to play around with. It's definitely an idea to play
Yes.
around with. So
You know, that is a very fun concept to play around with anything, is trying to make. I know it's a really fun as I've seen a lot of people doing this where it's they write a certain way, and then I know sometimes you'll see them kind of put their original character into forming a deal with Alistair, and it's always a different sort of concept as to why the deal's happening, and I love seeing it. It's like,
no, honestly, I cannot say enough how much I love the creativity that comes into dealing with these characters that we've met one episode. It's just it blows my mind. And I understand that the Helluva characters are a lot easier to kind of craft and task ourselves with, only for the sheer fact that we've known them for what now, 6 episodes, including the pilot. Something along those lines. So you're gonna have a decent idea of who Millie is, a decent idea of who Moxie is, a decent idea, Blitzo is who blows my mind the most because there's still more shit that we're learning about him every episode. And I
yeah,
love
each episode brings something new into it. Blitz's sort of personality character trait.
I've been seeing a lot of fan art lately about Blitzo Blitzo and his hot enemies. Blitzo and his hot
He's got
enemies.
himself a reputation. Not the sort of he might have wanted, but he's got a reputation.
Well, apparently it was they were tall and psycho. That's what the type was.
He's definitely got
Because
a type.
oh, he definitely has a type. Stolas is the only one that's not like full fledged psycho. But let me see. You had
Unless we
if
count his ability to turn people to stone.
okay, listen. His friends with benefits is just a very powerful prince. I mean, damn. Stolas, I love Stolas. I am a big fan of Stolas. I actually want to do a background story with him too. I definitely want to do a Stolas story.
Mm-hmm.
And just more so about him exploring his sexuality, being trapped in a loveless marriage, being a parent, and how he copes with that, being a parent in a loveless marriage, things. Because, I mean, we have a decent idea of who Stolas is at this point. And we have a decent idea that, he's been confined and trapped within himself for a long time now. And meeting Blitzo, however that happened.
Even through that, he still has something to love from that relationship, and that's his lovely daughter.
Yes, exactly. Um,
I think that's what's the sweetest aspect of it, is like that may be a really big factor as to why he's stayed with Stella, is because he knows that it's going to obviously affect the relationship otherwise with her. Because you see how forward Stella is, you can guarantee that she would be the sort to take Octavia away without Solus ever knowing.
I think Stolas at this point knows. I think he's well aware of what his wife is capable of. And I mean, think about it. Think about how relative that is in a lot of people's situations. They're trapped in this relationship. They have little choice in the matter but to cater to a significant other's needs just for the sake of not
Mm-hmm.
losing the thing that's most precious to them. Blitzo and his harem enemies. Yes, exactly. And if I ever do a Blitzo background, I'm definitely incorporating all of that. The relationship with Verosika, the relationship. Apparently, there's a thing with him and Robo Fizz. I do wanna, I do
There's
want to.
definitely a dynamic thing between him and Robo-Fizz that we need to hear more about.
I mean, for the sole fact that he says, "Oh, what a mouth," there's gotta be more than that.
I was going to refer more to the fact that the Robo-Fizz is very familiar with Blitz to have immediately started mocking him.
Well, I'm assuming, and I actually do support the theory that Blitzo worked in. I mean, obviously, and you saw flashbacks that Blitzo worked in the circus. So the two of them have had this. I'm not even gonna call it frenemies. I think they were just straight up enemies of one another. And yeah, there's a very certain dynamic there. Unless, in my mind, is just going to weird places. That he and RoboFizz at one point had a thing, and because of the sheer fact that yes, they have him as an entertainment bot, he is also a sex bot though. And I mean, think about it. Think about it for a second. All the shit.
Robo-Fizz is a character terrifying enough without having to think of him doing those sorts of actions.
I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. With a grin like that, would I want to see that on top of me? I don't quite know, but I mean, look, a lot of people like the grin. A lot of people like, all that. But me personally, I don't know. Crappy Bum Bun says, I love Stolas a lot for a personal reason. Listen, yeah, I am with you. I am with you on that. I would love to know your reason. And I don't know what it is about Stolas. I don't know if it's the fact that he's so fluid, the fact that he's coming into his own now, that he's coming into this being and accepting who he is now, and even though it's unreciprocated and it's like unrequited. Wow, okay, words.
It's our thing.
That Blitzo brings this side out in him. I mean, Fizz might work with Blitz probably back then. Yeah, I think so. I definitely I want to know how that soured. I would really want to know that.
Really need to hear more of this story. So that's what we love so much about it is you know everything you seem to need to know about Ellie and Moxie and Luna. Blitz is always throwing just one more curveball in the way of like, boom, you didn't see this coming with Blitz.
I mean, he is though. What true Viv still said that Viz has a real form, which I still need to know.
Mm-hmm. I wonder, are we going to be seeing this real Fizz in the upcoming episodes or not? Because there is a silhouetted figure that looks very similar to Fizz.
It does.
Is it just another Robo Fizz, or is it the actual Fizz? We don't know.
See, I would have thought that it would have been Big Ozzy, but I guess we're gonna see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be interesting, right? If it was Big Ozzy, but then again, when people call somebody big, like big Ozzy, Big Gino, Big Mike, usually they're not that big.
The grin. Almost all Viv's characters are hot with the grin. Viv has a type when it comes to the grins. Okay. And that's what I think is the best part about it is we all seem to fall in love with the characters that have the most devious grin on their faces.
I mean, alright, maybe I really shouldn't be talking because Angel's got the grin, and I melt with the grin.
That Angel can grin like a motherfucker when he wants to.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. And listen, Daddy can do what he wants to me. I would pay extra. Take my money. I would pay extra. I'm a lady. I will pay extra. But on the flip side of that, you can buy me with a wink and some cheap booze. That is just I'm gonna create a t-shirt that says that. I'm gonna create bumper stickers. I mean, that is just a quote that is me, and I will live by that probably for the rest of my life. You can buy me with a wink and some cheap booze.
We need to get it decaled, stickered for you.
I fucking would make one. I would fucking buy one. I fucking would. You think I wouldn't? I would.
We're just gonna put like little hints on there for Angel and Husk. See which Hazbin fans get the reference.
Oh, I think so. I think it would do really well too.
Absolutely.
Let's see. What was next on our list of topics to discuss? What sparked our interest with Hazbin? What was our start with Hazbin? I know we've been a little right. I know we've been a little bouncing around with topics as of late, but I think that's just what keeps it fun. So, Sky, share some light.
I've followed Viv's work for a while, like I've said before, being furry. Obviously, when you think of furries, the very first thing we always go to is like, what got you into being a furry? Was Viv's animation she done for it was like Die Young. So that's how
Yeah.
I immediately found Viv's work. That animation. Then it came a few years or so after that. Started hearing about Hazbin, and I was like, this sounds really cool. Oh, it's by Viv, the same person who did that animation. This should be really good then. Really like Viv's work. It's always really fluid. And then I asked the pilot. I was like, I like this a lot. It was only no. This is what is gonna kill me the most after because of this. I was enjoying it up to, and then door scene. Hey, you know exactly who I'm gonna talk about because best boy. The second the door opened and he spoke his first word, I immediately went, my favorite boy now. I liked Angel, but the first word that came out of his mouth, ha! And I'm like, oh, he's my favorite now.
See, but isn't that funny how that happens though?
Say the very first words have to make an impact. His first word was hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the concept of Alistair as a whole. So he won me over immediately. And then I found out about the Honeycast stream, so I was just immediately, I can watch all of these, and oh look, there's the voice actor for Angel. Oh look, they got the voice actor for Alistair. Oh look, they've got and then, yeah. I fell down the rabbit hole, and here I am today. Hello. I know that's my story. What about you?
Oh, for me. So it's funny. I was in work one night, just doing, just driving around. I work in security, so I was driving around the patrol car,
Them
and
legal donuts.
yes, my legal donuts. And I was flipping through YouTube as I usually do. You know, at things at YouTube like podcasts and, you know, music. And I actually found the remix First to Addict. And I kept listening and I'm like, all right, look, if this sounds like this, what does the actual song sound like? And then all of a sudden I'm introduced to, you know, Angel and Cherry, and I go, whoa, what this? So then through that I found the pilot episode, and then through that I found I think they were 3 episodes, including the pilot, into Helluva Boss at the time. So I binged watched all of them because I still had a few hours out there, and you're looking at like 9-10 o'clock at night, and I still had some time left outside. So I'm sitting there, and in between patrols, I sit and I watch an episode, patrol a little bit, sit back and watch another episode, and I just kind of I fed through it, and then the next night I watched I watched all the episodes all over again. And it was through Addict that I think I was like, I simp for Angel. Whoever this pink spider is, I simp. I'm there. I'm for it.
This fluffy boy.
This fluffy boy. I needs. So, but then after
Fluffy
watching
damaged boy.
so then through Helluva Boss, I fell in love with Moxie. I fell in love with Moxie's character. And it was like those two. I was like, okay, all right, these are two completely different extremes in personality type, but I'm here for it. I'm here for these two. So, and then, funny enough, Blitzo, Blitzo latched on. And then, to be honest, my first favorite character from the pilot is Vaggie because somehow she's just too similar to me. You know what? I feel that. I feel that on a lot of levels. Vaggie is amazing. The more I watch the pilot, the more I say I get where Vaggie's coming from. I do. I 100% get where I definitely get where Vaggie's coming from. Um, and Sky, I think you and I had this talk too about Vaggie. Like, I think we dedicated like a good 20 minutes talking about Vaggie.
Absolutely, the majority of the time is just me laughing. She's the punching bag of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And I
poor Maggie.
and I feel like most logical characters, usually are. The logical
If
ones.
you want to talk a bit more about that, I'm just gonna BRB really quick.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Keep
So,
talking about it, I'll be back.
I will. I blame the honeycast for my radio dust brain rot addiction tad I still have now. Listen, the honeycast is just downright amazing for particular things. And I mean, you hear the funniest things in these podcasts too. And a lot of the animatics that I saw on YouTube came from the honeycast. So, listen, I give kudos to Michael, Ashley, Ed, the whole crew for all of it. I mean, I thought it was just brilliance in a nutshell. But radio dust I see, Husker dust I see. Angel just deserves somebody who's gonna treat him well. Somebody that's not Val. Somebody really. I mean, poor Angel. And I think his character is so versatile. I mean, look, as much as he can be, as much as, the blatant sarcasm can be an acquired taste, I can definitely see him paired up with a lot of different characters. But yeah, no, so having that downtime in work really, really introduced me. Because really, if I didn't have that downtime that night, I really actually don't know if I'd be part of this wonderful fandom. And I gotta say, it's through being part of the fandom and being part of that group, one of the groups on Facebook that I met Sky in. I have never met more supportive people, and I've been part of groups before. And you can see where they're very cliquey and they can isolate. And I just didn't get that from here. Yes, Vaggie talk. Crappy, we're gonna have to have Vaggie talk. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. And, um, when people create original characters, and I'm gonna talk about this again when Sky comes back, but creating original characters is always such a hit and miss. You never know how people are gonna react. And, when I created Harper, she was meant for a completely original story, a completely other original story that I felt could easily translate to the Hazbin world. So I built more on her for it, and it wound up gelling very, very well. I was like, okay, this fits. I'm gonna keep going with this. I'm gonna keep building up on it, and then kind of see where it comes from. And Sky just took her character and she just ran with it. I was actually very impressed. I mean, this girl is beyond talented. That I will say. So for such an original character to be well received, in such a public setting, I was not accustomed to that kind of support. I was like, oh my god, damn, wow, yeah, okay, like they like her. We can do something with this.
I'm back
So,
for the dummies.
no, we were just talking about Angel just deserves all the love. Yes, exactly. Yes, he does. I was just talking about Harper and the amount of support that she received from the group that we met in.
Absolutely. Harper is a sweet bin.
She's just listen. She is a hoe with hoe powers. That's really all I gotta say. She doesn't have superpowers of any sort. She's just a hoe. And you know, we're yeah. Yeah, we got that going, but
I'm waiting for the chat. Blame Honeycast for my radio. Yeah, I blame Honeycast for introducing me to Radio Dust as a whole, and I was like, it's a thing?
yeah, yeah. It's and talking about original characters. I gotta say, guys, keep creating. Keep the imagination flowing. I can't speak enough on behalf that a lot of people are afraid of what others are going to say about their characters. And it is just so beyond important for you guys to just kind of keep pushing forward. You'll never exactly, like, you never know where it's going to lead. You never know who's going to be such an important factor, to their overall development. Harper still does not have a well, well. Harper has a ship. Harper is now she's to be honest, this fandom is mostly my main motivation to draw or write and create anything till now, which was quite a helpful one. I've been having a ton of art blocks back then on a different fandom I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's for the fact that this fandom is just so open. It's just such I don't know. I mean, that's actually how Sky and I met. I wrote Harper's story, and the more people in the group began to comment, I would tag people repeatedly. And then one day,
Yeah, the very first story that was put in for Harper was like her prelogue.
yes, and she met Lucifer because she was in purgatory. Yep. Harper yeah, no, but it was honestly, this is what I mean by support. If
Hey,
not,
don't blame me.
Excuse you. I blame
I'm being
Skyline.
blamed in chat, okay?
Yeah, but where's the lie? Blame Skyline. No reason, just blame her. Yes, exactly.
I know exactly who that is. Hello, my angel.
No,
Glad to see you join us.
Oh, I'm so glad he joins. This is a nice surprise.
No angels being a butt.
I have too many OCs in this fandom and I keep creating more. No, keep creating them. Crappy, I definitely want to have a talk with you on the side. Like we'll talk about the OCs, we'll talk about everything. Seriously, I'm going to be the biggest advocate in this. Keep creating. Just keep it going. Make a harem of OCs.
I might need to be getting in contact with you because I haven't got a single clue about what my hell OC would look like. That's why you got my furry OC up on the screen because I don't have a design for my hell Sona yet.
Well, take your time with it. If you need my help, let me know. This is the first I'm hearing about a Hazbin OC from you. Why are you keeping shit from me? What the fuck?
Because there's been a lot of things going on, and we have been putting Harper through many situations.
But what? What? No. Well then, turn around and say, "Bitch, I got a character I'm working on. Fucking help me." That's all you gotta say. That's what you gotta fucking say. But no, you gotta hide shit from me. Now you're quiet now. All right. What?
I'm not rude.
Because I know last night you were just talking about all the shit you were gonna put Harper through, and I was just like, oh, okay, well then. Yeah, I know, you're excited. Well, alright, well then if you create an OC, then, you know, they're gonna have to be friends, and they're gonna, yes, she hides a lot of things. Thank you, Advo. So I would.
Not! You'll be blaming me like this on a podcast. I feel targeted. I feel like I'm targeted by Angel.
You're not being targeted. This is just very exciting news that I'm hearing for the first time. Okay, so yeah, maybe you're being targeted.
I'm being targeted.
I am literally drawing more fan kiddos right now. Yes! I want to hear that. Yes!
As.
But for once, you'll know how it feels. Wow!
Oh, you wait, motherfucker. You wait. When we get round to doing them Hazbin cosplays, I'm not having you dress as Angel for sure. No. You're being addicted, Angel, with that corset. You got no say in this.
Okay. Okay, I feel like that just went in a okay, that just we went next door with that. That was a next door kind of deal. Okay. Okay, we got corsets, and next we're gonna be talking about toys. Okay, awesome. So but no. Alright, so let's Angst Central. To be honest, if I'm being Angel, might as well go all out. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Us.
I'm gonna start linking him to all the music that can inspire him. Particularly S&M comes to mind. So, yes. So as far as original characters go, look, I write them. I don't exactly have a central. I don't have a central ship for her yet. According to Sky and I, she's in a 3-way right now, which is fine by me. I have no problems with that. That was, I mean, Sky.
Let's explain how this has come about.
Oh, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna let your ass take the reins on it. Go ahead. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh Lord. If you want to fully understand the dynamic between them, I might have done an animatic about it. That's my explanation there.
So I'm gonna jump in for 2 seconds, and I know I feel like I've been doing a lot of the talking, but Sky,
Do it.
Sky did this amazing thing for me, and I would love to share it with everybody in the chat. The dork on the the dork on the left sends me all the musics or just sings in call. Yeah, she'll do that. But Sky did this.
I may or may not have done that last night. May or may not have been playing stuff last night.
She did this amazing thing for me, and it had a lot to do with Harper's story. I came to her with this video and this song Runnin' by Adam Lambert, and I said, this reminds me a lot of Harper. So she listened to it and she goes, I'm gonna do something.
I'm gonna do a thing.
You're like, yeah, oh yeah, that's what you said. You're
words.
Like, yes, your exact words, I'm gonna do a ting. And I said, what ting are you going to do? No, you need to tell me the ting. And she goes, no, you're gonna find out when I'm done. And
no, I'm gonna do a thing. You go find out when it's done.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I said, well, shit, now I gotta be patient. I don't want to be patient, but okay.
Never once gave word of it either. I'm just like, I'm still doing a thing.
No.
Thing is taking a long time, but I'm still doing a thing.
It took her about 2 days to do this thing. And she
2.5
wound
days.
2.5 days, and it wound up being this beautiful animatic about Harper when she was alive leading into her death. And you guys are amazing, all I can say. You're amazing. You're amazing for being part of this. Everybody that is with us right now, you guys are absolutely amazing. Seriously, without our viewers, commenting and taking place, I mean, I actually don't think this would be as fun. I am not gonna lie to you. I could have a list of
We'd be
topics all I
talking to
want.
ourselves, and yeah, we'd end up in madness. But then again, we always end up in madness. So
That is literally every that is literally every conversation that we have, and we wind up spending 4 hours just
you are
bullshitting.
hearing right now is what happens every night. So
Legit. But um let me see. So she comes up and she goes, "Ta-da, I got the ting." And I said, "Okay, let's see what the thing is." And it was
did
this
a
beautiful
thing.
You're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking. You're breathtaking.
So um so I'm sorry guys, give me 1 second and we'll explain the ting.
Ting ting ting.
Yeah. He's gonna get you a book and he's spreading the word. He's a mentor and West nicely. Nice, thank you. Because all of a sudden I heard
Oh,
Steph
this thing took so long.
and when I turned around there was him with his son. His son is like, oh, nice. He goes, I'm definitely getting the book. He was like, he said, Cam, you're interesting. Yeah. He said, you can tell the other teachers and everybody. Well, listen, thank you. And
And check TG right now on the live stream. I'll have to check later. I have to check TG later. Gotta keep an eye on you in chat. You're not being bad. Well, I hope you're enjoying the stream, everyone, honestly. Yeah, because it's like super late for you, isn't it, Bun? Your boobs have no effect here. The boobs have no effect here. No. But if anyone in chat also has any questions they want to ask us, you're free to put them in the chat and we will get round to answering them. When I have you lot included as much as we do the talk. Oh, we'll see about that, Angel here. Oh, excuse me, I was having a milkshake. Slurp, indeed. It is great to hear, Bun. We are happy that you're enjoying yourself. It is what we like to hear. Have to let us know what the day brings for you in the future. Oh, don't have a slurp. Delicious. Delicious. I want another milkshake. Damn it! I shouldn't have had a milkshake because now I want another. I'm reading shade. Birthdays. No, I didn't want to do that. It's good that you're all enjoying watching the madness that is us. Oh, is there anything anyone wants to discuss while we wait for lovely Wordy to return?
Sorry, guys. Was there too much silence? What happened?
Killed them.
You killed them? Who?
Killed them.
Who in the fuck did you kill? What happened? I disappear for 5 fucking minutes and you're telling me you killed somebody. Who?
Alistair possessed my body, okay?
I mean, that sounds to me like a dream come true. That's all I'm gonna say. But so, well, oh, okay. Wait a minute. I actually stayed up while watching the stream. To be honest, how cute you are, an angel booping. That's new. Aww. It's why I'm here. Well, thank you, Bun Bun, for staying up with us. I really hope you're enjoying yourself. Um, that's late. I'm not gonna lie. I just, I am eternally Husker. I am eternally Husker, and I do not think I could stay past 10 up past 10 o'clock anymore. I'm at that point in life. So yeah, laugh. Go ahead.
I can because I can, and I do it a lot.
I know. But let me see. All right. So before I left, where were we?
I should be reminding you, but we were talking about the animatic.
Well, we were talking about the animatic. So you unveiled to me this. You unveiled to me this gorgeous animatic, and it had to do with Harper's
The
life.
first one I've ever done, by the way.
Listen, for it being your first animatic, that was a damn good one, and I think we will be linking that to the group 2 show. And we could probably put that under Harper's fic. I think that's where I think it would go, right?
Lord.
No, why? You bring it up. Listen to me. You bring this shit up, and then you know what? No. We are displaying.
Somebody started talking about it.
You're the one that fucking did it, so don't start with me.
But you're the one who gave me the idea.
Alright, so listen, we're gonna be passing the blame. We're gonna be passing the buck of the blame. I mean, we can do that. I'm down with it.
Can we just blame my angel then? Can we just put the blame on him?
Why are we blaming him?
Because then neither of us are blaming each other.
He just did the snoot booping. Why are you blaming him? Don't blame him. So
I blame him.
So we terribly encouraged one another, which led her then to come up with, this animatic. And for it being her first, I think she did a damn good job. And I think it was towards the end of the animatic. I am a night owl. So funny story. I used to be too. I used to work nights, and then they switched me over to the morning shift, and life was never the same for me again. Getting up at 5 a.m. became my life. And I am not a morning person by any means. I'm not.
What
So,
are mornings?
what?
What are mornings?
Yeah, I don't even know what is daylight. I know nothing of this daylight.
Yeah, that sounds horrendous.
It is
Sounds like
bright.
it hurts.
It's very bright. It does hurt. So, um, the ending. This is how relationships work. Both parties blaming each other randomly. I blame her for that. I mean, I think that's just such a thing in any relationship. I'm just gonna leave that there. Um, so towards the end of the animatic, you see Harper in the middle of both Alistair and Angel, and then the wheel started turning in both of our heads because I believe you and I had that thought at the exact same time of putting her in this relationship with the two of them, and then we were bargaining on when she would have either.
I
We
mean,
were work.
technically, if we want, I don't know if we know how to, but we may be able to do it on stream if I can get the video up.
Could you?
If I'm able to send you the link again, then we might be able to play it live for everyone.
We could try. If not, I can probably I can give it a shot. I don't know if OBS would
I
if o, if OBS would be okay
think
with
it might.
that.
It has like a display capture thing where it shows the screen and all that.
Well, if anything, either way, we can just post it to the group. I'm not that worried about it. So
I'm pulling
so
it up.
so so yeah, that's how yeah, what is sleep, who is sleep. So
As a wise Irishman once said, sleep is for the weak.
then I'm weak as fuck because I cannot function without the sleep, and no amount of coffee is ever enough. So um
No, you need tea. I told you that.
I probably should be switching from coffee to tea. No, but you're right though. You're not the first person to say that. My fiance said the exact same thing. He said the exact same thing. That coffee, you know, coffee is great for other things, for other needs. But do I feel the effects of caffeine anymore? I'm actually thinking it's more of a psychological trigger than anything else. Because caffeine really doesn't do much. It does some, but not all. So let me see. Um,
It's useful. My
why
videos
would you?
up. YouTube
Are you looking through
is
YouTube on it?
taking a
Okay. But
long time.
I would actually love to do a
I don't know
stream.
why I'm doing it this way, where it would be quicker to do it on my phone, but I'm
Well,
not.
you know. I would actually love to do a stream one day where we just specifically cater to original characters and and their pairings and other such beautiful things because I really am a big
Mhm.
supporter of creativity. So I'm a supporter of just of other people and what they do because their original characters are just as important to them as the characters they ship them with. And
Absolutely.
oh yeah, which is why I think I apologize all the time for this, and I'm like, oh listen, I'm so sorry we talk so much about Harper and her story, and you're just like, why apologize? Why you apologize? I'm like, oh
Yeah,
okay.
why? I like talking about Harper.
And I feel like I talk about her too much. No,
Enough.
I do though, and I'm like, oh well, there are other things that we could
Enough.
be talking about. No, okay,
I've just given the link.
okay.
switch back to YouTube so I can keep an eye on chat.
I think my candle's nearing the end of its life. It was such a good candle, too. I think I have like a quarter of the way left, so we'll see how long this lasts me for, but candles are another great thing. They're very calming, they're very good for like when you're trying to write. I'm sure you even draw, rather. You just have that really nice, comforting smell, that scent wafting in your nose.
No, here's the thing with candles. I get distracted by them because the flames are just dancing. I'm just like, it's so pretty.
Well, fire is pretty. I'm not a pyro, but fire's
It
pretty.
dances.
But, yeah, no. So, original characters, their pairings, their ships, all the ships. And I would love to do something along those. But I would like, and if Sky does not have any opposition to this, I would like to open up the floor to any Q&A that anyone may have.
No, go for it.
Open up the floor to some Q&A, and while I wait for
I
the
actually missed the tumnus with the dancing fire flute. Yes.
But in the
Yeah, now
meantime,
I'm ready for Q&A.
yeah, no, let's start getting the Q&A rolling.
Yes.
If anyone in the chat has anything to inquire about, otherwise, let's see, what other topics of conversation can we discuss?
Do we want to talk a bit more about Harper's story?
Do you want to? I feel like I overdo with her, but I don't mind talking about her. It's always helpful for me to learn more about her in the midst of it, so I'm down if you are. Alright, fine, I'll talk about her then. So,
I got no big role really in Harper's story. I just help with what the hell Alistair made.
Well, no, but that's not true though. You've done a lot pertaining to Harper's story, so what are you talking about?
I don't do the writing stuff where I just sort of put her in a situation and be like, wouldn't it be funny if this happened and Alistair did this?
Well, you know what? Let me clarify on that for a second. So, Harper's story, like I was saying before when you had excused yourself for a few moments, I was starting to talk a little bit about Harper and her story and kind of how we met. And I had said that you were commenting a lot. You were like one of the first to comment on Harper's story when you met her in the prologue, when she was talking with Lucifer. And now I wanted the beginning of her story to really hone in on an introduction with a Hazbin character, because anything after that, you're not I mean, okay. So you're not seeing an official Hazbin character again for a long time in the coming chapters. But so all right, so let me explain it this way. So Harper, her role is that she was a very, you know how a lot of people do checklists. They have they always have the planner on them. They always live their life on pen and paper. Well, that was kind of Harper, right? She set a list of goals and she looked to meet every single one of them. And, such as, get into the school of choice, meet, love of life, and be engaged before graduation, something like that. Get married, have fantastic career, and then get married and have, honeymoon baby. So Harper had all of this planned out for herself, but what she really didn't expect was that there were a lot of, that life is fluid. Life is always changing. Life is never going to be stagnant where she's going to be able to lead that straight and narrow road. So while she went to the school of her choice and she met somebody she was very invested in, that didn't necessarily mean that it was going to pan out for her there. So her fiance, they find work in the same building. That's where they started with their internships. And she had aspirations to be on the marketing team, but instead had to step down to become the admin assistant. And her fiance, Sky, who's funnily enough named Sky, no relation.
Me. I'm not here. This is not about me.
And
It's not
you know,
about the having of Harper.
and Sky went on to becoming the head of like analytics or finances or something along those lines. And Harper one day walks in on her fiance, cheating on her with somebody that was more in, according to him, Sky's league. So he cheats on Harper with the head of the creative team. He's the head of analytics. She's the head of the creative team. To him, it just made sense, right? They had decent salaries, the whole 9 yards. It seemed like a better match than him with Harper. And Harper, meanwhile, had taken many steps down, in a way to support him and be there for him. She had aspirations to become a history teacher, and kind of she took a different route with her, a different route in her life. So that being said, once Sky had cheated on her, and now of course she's like anybody else. She vents on social media. She gets some attention from there, and one of them happens to be her former college roommate, right? The college roommate that hated the boyfriend. And that's who Cynthia was. Cynthia hated Sky. She did not appreciate him. She didn't like him, but she dealt with him for Harper. And Harper moves in with her for a little while, and she notices that Cynthia has a very nice apartment, has a lot of nice things in this apartment, and has things that she wouldn't usually associate with Cynthia, until she reveals that she is a sugar baby, and has an allowance from her daddies, or rather, one daddy that she's very connected with, and he gives her a very nice allowance for her to be able to lead this life on top of being, I don't know, a freelancer. So she kind of turns Harper on to the idea of being a sugar baby, because not only has she been broken up with Sky, Sky also took almost all of her money. It left her with little to nothing. So Sky takes all the money, and Harper's like, well, shit, now I really have to start off from square one. So where you meet some has-been guys again is that I modeled a lot of her sugar daddies, based on has-been characters, and a little game I like to play is, guess the daddy. So the first two being Husker and Alistair, with the names Alan and Hunter. And
Which killed me when I had to design them.
listen, you said you had fun with it.
I was having my own existential crises because I structured their head shapes the same way I draw them in their demon forms. I had to keep telling myself, do not put the ear tufts, do not turn him into a cat. I'm like, ah! I was like messaging you like, this one shot is killing me.
You did tell me that. You did tell me that. And I was like, oh god. I'm like, I did not expect that. I did not expect that at all. But the end result came out very, very nice though. You really hit the nail on the head, especially with Alan. But I mean, Alan, I took his design from a lot of concepts based on what Alistair looked like in his human life. So I really didn't do anything out of the norm with that, and I try to stick as close to possible as I could with a human husker. Excuse me. So that was easy. And to make a long story short with her story, is that she goes through this journey where she's figuring out herself and trying to figure out this new lifestyle, because going from a planned woman to somebody who's not now, she's kind of living off the cuff in a way. She doesn't really know these guys. She doesn't have a plan in her mind. And I did a lot of research on sugaring, the industry in itself, escorting, the whole 9 yards, because Harper goes through this transition where, when sugaring doesn't pan out because she's failing at that, an opportunity comes along for her when she meets the the sugar edition of Angel Dust. And the two of them become really close, and I guess almost to a degree, when I had designed this, it almost seemed as if they were in a little relationship of their own. Now, whether that's just a really good friendship or if it's them actually being romantically linked, um, you know, I will have to see when I actually get around to fleshing it out. But the picture I have in my head is that they are very close, which is what Harper was originally to Angel Dust. When I originally designed her, she was just very, very close to him, and obviously through a lot of trust. Angel is not exactly a very trusting person, so as I would imagine coming from the industry. But I digress. I'll get to that in a second. So so Harper becomes an escort like he is when she meets the sugar edition of Valentino in Big V. And Big V promises her the world. Now, Sky and I had multiple conversations about this, and we were talking about, in what ways that, originally speaking, it was supposed to be Husker. And I don't know why I was very in tune with the idea of pairing Harper with Husker. Don't know why. No idea. It just, I
Just
don't
because
know.
they both had a very big sharing for they were both very devoted to booze as their crutch.
True. Harper does rely a lot on alcohol. She does rely a lot on alcohol later on in the story. You're right. So I was very determined to make this whole idea between her and Husker work. And the more I was talking about it, the more that, Sky, you had to you turned around and you said, well, what if it was kind of Alan instead? Like, what if you had Alan continuously showing up, because it would pair more so with the, with the role play in essence. We were playing around with some ideas, and just to kind of help flesh out Harper, and to kind of, and it was very radio dust heavy. It was very radio dust heavy, um, role play, just with Harper kind of in there as support. She was actually a big supporting character in this. And so
It's cute how that happens as well. It's so fucking cute.
so no, that was really good though. That was really good. And actually, that scene that we wrote together, that opened a lot of doors, especially, actually in terms of Harper, because it showed me that pairing her, that's why pairing her with anyone else didn't work, so to speak. And her story just kind of, it's actually, there's not too much success in her story, and that's why she kind of down spirals. That's why she down spirals into this depressive state where she she's starting to rely on alcohol, she's relying on drugs at one point. And how she dies is, she overdoses, and then she
I think
spends
we
a
discussed it was like an aspect of she didn't realize she'd like been spiked or something beforehand in an event and then went and drank while also on drugs.
so okay, you know what, good point that you brought out. So when I was writing um my novel, and a lot of it was, I dealt with a lot of drugs, in the context of the novel. And I had learned that mixing cocaine with alcohol, was actually a very fatal combination. Now, I don't, obviously I wouldn't know, so when I looked all this up, I that's what I learned. And I was like, oh. So then I relayed it back into the role play for Harper's sake, and I was like, all right, and it's just gonna be easier for me to reuse this idea. So I had Harper take this deadly combination, and that's how she died. She was spiked, Big V spiked her out of spite. Harper took additional, and that's kind of how homegirl went. And what winds up being is that I make a lot of heavy hints that Alan is actually Alistair. How I choose to.
Very, very heavy hint.
Yeah. One of the last chapters that I wrote for it, had Alan kind of really heavily hinting when his eyes flash crimson that Alan is actually Alistair keeping an eye on her. And so when Harper gets down there, it becomes a tie-in altogether.
She sort of is familiarizing herself with people she's already essentially known. So say that she's trying to go down the same sort of path as what she was on, because she's in with Valentino. She's got a relationship with Angel, and now she's getting to know Alistair. So she's familiarizing herself with individuals that she's seen in life, and she's sort of like redoing that in hell. The way of what we've noticed.
So Harper's story is very much a rabbit hole, and it's this reflection of how she lived her life is how she's going to live it in hell. That was the entire concept of Harper's story. And she does become tied in, like what Sky was saying. Thank you for that. Um, where Harper becomes entangled with Valentino again, thereby leading her to Angel Dust, the exact same way, in a very similar fashion to how she meets, you know, um, Antonio, Antonio and Big B. So then in turn, she meets Alistair, and then that's when it picks up from the roleplay's perspective, and creates this dynamic between the three of them. But when she did the animatic, everything began clicking in my head, and then she and I kind of were on the same page, and we were like, wait a minute, is this why I turned around to you one day and I said, is this why it didn't work out with anybody else? Because we played around with all different concepts. We said, oh, what if we paired her with Husker, right? And I was like, yeah, I like the idea, but I don't like the idea. So then we said Blitzo, and then we talked about her sharing Blitzo with Stolas, and then it hit me. I said, well, wait a minute. If she's got this fantastic dynamic going on between Angel and Alistair,
So
and
it
we're
was
already.
one more. It was one more before that. It was like then you were considering the bartender in the speakeasy being Moxie.
I did, but that really wasn't gonna go anywhere. That was just to show that she well, no, Moxie was supposed to be a guy named Max, and he was supposed to be a real estate investor that dealt with theaters on Broadway. That was the original concept for Moxie. But in order to make more room for Alan/Alistair to make a different appearance, we nixed the idea of Max existing outside of him being a bartender. So, but in the long run, it would have wound up being that Harper would have gave him the courage to be with Millie. So there was a lot of openings. There was a lot of openings regarding how that was gonna go. So like I was pretty okay with those changes. But honestly, you had heavy influence in it. So you had, because the more I read it to you, you said you had these vivid ideas come to mind. Like the more I was reading them to you, because I like to take legal pads and I like to make bullet points. So honestly,
The
it
only one
helps
that's
me.
going back to my head is the whole scene in the aquarium and just Ellen over with the piranhas.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because look, I was gonna make it a point. Look, I'm a big person for hints, right? So I give like the big hints. And when they went to the aquarium, I was going to have Antonio and Harper admire the blob and angelfishes. And in the next like two tanks over, and like the next section over, they were going to come across Alan again, admiring the piranhas. And that was Sky's idea. You had said for
Because
him.
they're flesh eating.
You said it. You said it. You said something about the flesh eating piranhas, and I thought that was brilliant. So I said, okay, let's roll with this. And yeah, so Harper's story is definitely something to come full circle, and it's definitely a rabbit hole. Like I that was the concept that I thought, because it was through her greed for more, for wanting more. So she hits this point where, and I know where Viv says, no, you don't get sent to hell for being a sex worker, you don't get sent to hell for being gay. So I said, okay, so what can I send her to hell for? So her crave and her desire for more money and more drugs, and just that crave for more to, she has something good going, and she starts making these poor decisions by desiring more. So it was her greed
It's got that
that's
greed.
right. So it was that greed that sent her to hell. And I was like, okay, you know what? I can cope with this. Like I was okay with that. I was like, I can definitely cope with this. So
Her judgments are clouded, where it's like I think what she's realizing that we're starting to do with her in hell is she's realizing that all she really needed all along was there with her from the start.
yeah, really.
She was clouded judgment of it, so she didn't see it at the time, and now she's like, oh.
Oh, her judgment 100% was clouded by everything, because suddenly she becomes jealous and wondering to herself, why certain things didn't happen for her differently. And, you brought out a good point where you had said, the thing that she wanted was there in front of her all along. And she finds it funny enough, you know, to not be able to find it when you're alive, but to find it there in hell. And now we're playing with different ideas of her being a fallen angel, or for her to be, you know, something.
That part killed me last night.
Yeah, her potentially being a fallen angel was like, huh, okay, I can see it.
You know, as though when that moment was put to me last night, I didn't dismiss it immediately. I was just
What?
like, I'm just gonna play off it. So maybe Alistair knows that he's letting on. You know,
Oh,
Alistair and Harper at the moment have got a very weird relationship where he's just constantly teasing her.
yeah, that's really what it's coming down to at that point. But remember, again, Hope Powers. Hope Powers is going to come in and it's going to nip him in the ass. So let's see. Yeah, I know you got really excited about that. I was like, yep, he's gonna get it right back up it. So,
I gave you plenty of warning when you were formed that you've opened a whole new can of fish.
and I'm very willing to.
You've opened a whole new can of worms with Alistair now.
I am willing to accept the consequences. So, I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. But okay. I mean,
Should play this game of poker.
should play a game of blackjack or some shit. Um, all right. Let's see. What time is it? It's 1:47. It does not look like we have any Q&A.
Any questions?
Yes, any last questions before we look to wrap today's stream up?
And it's blanket burrito.
Well, I also have to do the work thing today, otherwise I'd be hanging out here for a little longer. But we
The
gotta get.
work.
Huh, yeah, I really don't want to go to work, but who really wants to go to work?
Work.
I know, right? How glorious is work. So all right.
I can't come in. I've lost my socks.
So Sky, any last minute any last questions, comments, concerns before we say our farewells?
Oh Lord. Give me a second. My brain's just got on autopilot.
Okay.
That's what happens. I'm like put in a position. I'm like, ah! It's like, hey, you got any feedback? um, oh no, really? I mean, I'm glad that stream seems to enjoyed.
Yes, no, thank you everybody who decided to stop in, whether it was for 5 minutes, a half hour, or stayed with us through the entire ride. This was a lot of fun, and I really hope that next week, um, we'll come up with a better game plan. We'll hopefully have a surprise guest for everybody, and yes, let's see if we can get a. I have a few in mind, but hopefully we can get a lovely lovely guest on board next time to talk about some of their amazing art, because I know we spent a lot of time today talking about some Radio Dustin Harper. Um
We gotta watch as well though, because if I remember rightly, the signings for Hazbin are next week.
oh, that's right. Okay, so then should we postpone next week's stream and we'll do it the following?
That's a few.
I mean, I'm good either way. So, all right. So then you know what? We'll play it from there. No, crappy. We're wrapping this up. I know you're getting sleepy, sweetie. Um, we will wrap this up. So get this bad bitch going. All right, you know what? So we will play it by ear. I'm not that worried. Either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed today. This was a lot of fun for us, and I
Yeah.
hope to see you again soon. We will comment in the Discord group. Definitely keep being active there. I love seeing all of the clever designs and writings. I do want to get to know everyone's original characters. And
Mhm.
yeah, right. Um,
No.
and definitely, go from there. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you guys soon. Okay?
Thank you for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.